I'm going to go over the launch process. So I'll wait till we have more people in here before I go over everything. But just give me like 3 minutes, 5 minutes, so I can put some tweets out and get people alerted to know that it started.
Shout out to the animal farm community. Shout out to Forex Shark. Mighty leader, guys. mighty leader is giving us an opportunity. I was just telling everybody in the live stream. Another opportunity. If you guys are, some of you guys are new to the ecosystem, you're just joining Animal Farm. Guys, we're part of this excellent, growing, and thriving community. Like, the community owns everything within the community. Drip is ours. Animal Farm is ours. Everything that Mighty Leader builds is our project as well. So we're able to not only be able to have this excellent system with the faucet doing airdrops, right? But the piggy bank now is going to be a tool where we'll be able to airdrop stakes as well. So who else out there in crypto can go to their left pocket, throw an airdrop at somebody, then go in their right pocket, throw another airdrop at somebody with a different platform, a different token, a different mechanic, a whole different ecosystem? You know, like, left side got this going on, right side got this going on. Guys, it's an incredible opportunity right now, where everybody should be extremely bullish and thankful that we're here super early in the early stages of this ecosystem, because this thing is an opportunity of a lifetime for everybody. And what's beautiful about this is that you can pick what you want to do. If you're somebody who's not into something that's in the ecosystem, there's something else out there for you. There's another choice. Everybody yields farms. There's no excuse, right? And who doesn't want to earn APR of Bitcoin at 120 something percent clip? You're not going to find that out there. There's so much great opportunities on the Animal Farm to be able to earn. So now we have something else coming that's going to strengthen and harden the pig token price, and in turn will harden the dog price. Super bullish.
Yeah, man. Speaking of airdropping, Stunna Breezy just hit his max payout on Drip. He's, I believe, the first person and the only person to hit max payout in Drip, which means that he's claimed 100,000 Drip, and essentially on this stake he can no longer claim. And this is extremely bullish for everybody. First of all, Stunna has no issue with that because he's made a lot of money, so he's very happy with the situation. And everybody else involved in the system should be equally as excited about it, because that means that he's the first early whale to kind of get knocked off the block, meaning he can no longer claim on that stake. And he was claiming, you know, tens of thousands of dollars every day from the system, essentially removing that capital from the system. He can no longer do that. And every day from this point on, another whale is going to be hitting max payout, essentially going to hit their limit of what they can remove from the system. And Stunna was in the pre-sale. He was in at launch. And essentially every day from this point on, another major early whale that was in the pre-sale or was in on day one is going to be hitting their max payout. So that means these people that are now claiming and sometimes selling, you know, tens of thousands of dollars worth of Drip every single day will not be doing that anymore. So this is kind of a major turning point in Drip, where those people that were the super early whales that really have a stronghold over the project can no longer earn exponential dividends from the system. Now, they can start new wallets in the system, which Stunna has done, but when you start a new wallet, you're not migrating your whole team with you. So that's the beauty of Drip, is that we prevent certain mechanisms from compounding infinitely, because that wouldn't be sustainable. but we never completely shut off anybody from being able to earn in the system. Stunner realizes he made millions of dollars with us in Drip. There's no better place to put your money in the system than Animal Farm and Drip. So he understands that, and that's why he created a new wallet to start promoting and growing his new wallet and his new referrals under his new wallet. But he cannot continue.
His graduation. He had his graduation. Shout out to Stunner. He had his graduation.
It's beautiful, man. I know he's happy about it. But it means that he cannot continue to exponentially compound all those dividends that are being given to him through referrals. So that's huge, right? That's tens and tens of thousands of dollars every single day that was being generated just through referrals alone that could be compounded. And he hit his limit on that, which is beautiful because it means he made millions of dollars off the system, and he has his other wallet that he's starting to grow now, and he's starting to refer people to now. But he's basically starting from the ground floor with that. So it prevents the ability for people to exponentially grow referral bonuses, which wouldn't be sustainable, but allows them to continue to earn in the system. And because of this, you see the first person to hit max payout started a new wallet so he can continue to earn in the system, but he's not going to be exponentially compounding those referral bonuses, which would be unsustainable. So every day we're going to be starting to see these early whales hitting their max payout. And, another major beautiful thing about it is not all of them are like Stunner, right? Stunner has been an amazing, utility and an amazing team leader for the project. So he's onboarded a ton of capital, right? He's got thousands and thousands of users to join Drip. So he deserves all of those bonuses. But there are people who joined the system early, got into the pre-sale, bought a ton at launch, and have been relatively inactive and have just been claiming and draining the system every day. And those people very shortly are going to be hitting their max payout. And it's just going to, exponentially harden the price of Drip because it's not being drained through people that are earning massive compound interest through all of their referral bonuses. So it's amazing. And we're really, we kind of hit the next level in Drip where we made it past the point where if people exponentially compounding their team bonuses were going to have a major negative impact on the project, we would have experienced it already. And now we're kind of, we've graduated, as BarterTown said, where now those people who have, exponentially compounded their team referral bonuses and have been in since pre-sale and launch are starting to hit their max payout. And we only get stronger from here. So it's very, very exciting. Now, we have over 1,000 people in here, so let me start talking about the piggy bank and the piggy bank launch. The way we're going to do it, right, is tomorrow at 11 a.m., we're going to launch the front end. We're going to launch the contracts. We're going to make it available for everybody to start setting up their referral links and their team structures, right? Because with Piggy Bank, you can have people join your team by using your referral link. There's then a table under your under the dashboard that shows you everybody that used your referral link, how much they deposited, and how long they time staked for. This way, you can set up reward structures, and this is going to be especially big for the YouTubers and group owners out there, where you can say to your community, hey, if you deposit and time lock over $1,000 for a year, I'll airdrop you $100 stake, right? So $100 year time lock stake. So what they can do is use the airdrop function in the piggy bank, and the airdrop function has three input fields, right? You input who you want to send the airdrop stake to, how much you want to send to them, and how long it's staked for. You then hit the gift button, and it then time locks that stake and sends it to them. Now they have a time lock stake that they can earn for, that they can earn with, and that they can compound those earnings into their reward. But they have to wait until the end of the year in this example until they can harvest the dividends. So it allows people to airdrop rewards to people that use their referral link, and even people that don't use their referral link. People can just send airdrops to essentially anybody in the system, and it will, and even someone that's not in the system, right? You can just airdrop. If you have their wallet address, you can airdrop to them. Like, say it's a gift for a friend and family that isn't in the piggy bank at all, and they will now have a time lock stake in the piggy bank that they can earn off of, and they can compound it daily, and they can earn the bonus for having that time locked for the year. And then when the year comes up, they can choose to harvest it if they want. So you can start referring people. You can check out all the contracts, right? And we're going to have a 48-hour countdown until we unpause the contracts. And the reason why I want to do this is because I want the YouTubers out there and the people that are going to be doing their shilling and doing their promoting to be able to have access to the contracts and access to the front end while they do that. So, and I want them to be able to start setting up their team structure, start being able to give out the referral link. So when it unpauses, everybody's ready to go with that. And I also always like to have a 48-hour countdown. So we've had it for every project. And if we were to have a 48-hour countdown to hit 0 tomorrow, we would have to start it on Sunday. And I never like to do any big announcements on Sunday. And I never like to really do any kind of announcements on Sunday or launch or anything like that. So we're still going to be launching the platform tomorrow, essentially, where what I mean by that is we're launching all the contracts, making all the contracts available. We're making the front end available to everybody. We're allowing people to start making their referral links, to start sharing their referral links. But we're going to have a 48-hour countdown until we unpause everything. That way everybody's on the same page. And when we unpause it, it will immediately be available for deposits. Now, the way that the system works is very similar to the drip garden in the sense that when we unlock it, it starts essentially tricked into thinking that there's an already existing balance. The reason for this is twofold. One, because you need to set an exchange rate. So when you have, when you essentially add liquidity to a liquidity pool, which the piggy bank and the drip garden are essentially a form of exchange. It's an internal exchange that has multiple assets and various mechanisms in form of game theory that are all internal inside one major contract. So you need to add capital to the contract in order to give it its starting exchange rate. If we were to do it like how BNB Miner does it and Shrimp Farmer does it, and these other protocols that have a internal DEX like this, the way that would work is, the way they did it is, you send the initial amount of BNB or BUSD or whatever is going to be in the contract. It then gives the person who sends that initial capital in 50% of all the assets on the contract. Then that sets an exchange rate, and now everybody that comes in after them starts buying at that exchange rate. But the insider, which is always the dev, ends up getting 50+% of all the assets from the start, no matter what they put in. They could put in 0.1 BNB and they get 50% of all the assets. And then once you control 50+% of all the assets, you can compound that and end up owning 99+% of all the buying power within the first couple of weeks. And that's why these Other projects such as Shrimp Farmer and Bean Miner are inherently unsustainable and inherently unfair. With the Drip Garden, we implemented a new mechanism for doing that, which essentially tricks the contract into thinking we added liquidity. This way, it sets the starting exchange rate, but doesn't give 50+% of the starting assets to the devs. In fact, we get nothing from the start. And this sets the exchange rate, ensuring that the first person that does deposit doesn't get an extremely unfair rate relative to everyone else. Meaning they don't get 50+% of all the assets, even if they just put on a tiny bit of capital. So it starts off with a fair exchange rate, and then any participant in the system, if they were to deposit and compound, if they are not time locking, their user experience in the piggy bank is going to be almost identical to Drip Garden. Meaning, with these projects, you need to have two assets. One that determines your share of the contract, and one that determines your daily ROI. In the Drip Garden, this is determined by plants, which are your share of the contract, and seeds, which are determining your ROI. In Piggy Bank, we use piglets and truffles, right? So when you feed your piglets truffles, you get more piglets, and the more piglets you have, the more truffles they can find. So this is the theming that we're going with, to go with the Animal Farm, pigs theming. Now, if you join the piggy bank and you're not time locking, you're going to have an experience very similar to Drip Garden, where you deposit capital into the system. This gives you truffles, which are then immediately spent, essentially compounded, but we'll call spent to make it easy, spent to buy your piglets. And now your piglets immediately start finding truffles for you. Now, you start off with about a 3% ROI, meaning that every day you will make about 3% ROI on your principal. This is the starting rate. Now, every day, if you don't compound on a rate equal or greater to the average user in the system, this ROI goes down by a little bit. And this ensures or incentivizes people to compound in the system. It also makes it attractive for new capital to come in, because the price of piglets goes down by a little bit every day. But you still want to get in early, because if you are compounding, the rate at which the price of piglets is going down is not on scale with your ability to appreciate your amount of piglets through compounding. So it keeps it attractive for new capital to come in, which is why we're every month after month, we're seeing new all-time highs in the contract balance of the Drip Garden. But those who are compounding daily are still seeing equal to or close to their 3% ROI. Now, you can continue to do this in the system, earning up to 3% ROI, and earn an amazing return on the pig pen. But there are additional options that is only available in the pig pen, and are true innovations in the space. There is no other time staking protocol that is non-inflationary and allows you to compound your bonus and your interest while your stake is time locked. There's no other protocol that allows you to airdrop time lock stakes, right? There's no other protocol that determines your bonus based on your share of the your share stake in the overall ecosystem. So there's all kinds of innovations that are not just really attractive and not just exciting for me because we're solving problems in the space. They're also extremely attractive from an investment standpoint because it's extremely powerful to be able to earn a bonus on your principal and then be able to compound that over the life of your stake. So when you time lock, if you decide to time lock, the way that the bonus works is I'm going to just give an arbitrary value right now, right? So say you time lock for a week. You get a 40% bonus for time locking for a week, right? I'm giving arbitrary values. Now, the true values of the bonuses will be displayed on the dashboard. So when you decide how long you want to time stake for, it will give you your bonus percentage before you do it. So that way you can choose different time staking options and know what your bonus will be before you do it. But let me just give arbitrary numbers just to make the math easy and just keep it as simple as possible for people. So say you time lock it for a week and you get, let's just say, a 10% bonus to make the math easy. The way that the bonus is implemented is through making it available for you to compound. And what I mean by that is, say you time lock for a week, you get a 10% bonus on that, and you stake 100 tokens. What this means is you will get 10 tokens as a bonus, and these 10 tokens will be made available to you to compound as your stake ages. And it is done using an exponential distribution curve that is the same curve that options contracts use for theta time decay, but it's an inverse. So instead of decaying the value, it's putting a multiplier on the value. And this is how we're using a distribution curve that has been proven to be highly effective in traditional markets for decades, centuries actually. And we're taking all those centuries of built up knowledge base and we're putting it to work in our innovative new protocol, because I always like to go to mechanics that we know work, right? We know these mechanics work. They've been proven to work in traditional markets for a very long time, but I then like to implement them in ways that only DeFi allows for. And that's what we're doing here. So, the amazing options that DeFi give us make these mechanics so much more powerful. So to continue with how this bonus is implemented on your stake, the way that the distribution curve works is 30% of this bonus is applied in the first 75% of your stake. And in the last 25% of your stake, the other 70% of the bonus is applied. So what this means is, if you staked for 10 days, right, and you get a 10% bonus for staking for 10 days, for time locking for 10 days, and you time locked 10 tokens, right? I'm just making the math very easy by just doing 10, 10, 10. Then you would have 3 tokens available to compound by the time you've reached 7 days in your stake. But it's not made available at one time. So what that means is, on day 1, you would have, say, 0.2 tokens made available for you to compound into your principal. Now on day 2, you might have 0.6 tokens from your bonus available to compound into your principal. On day 3, you might have 2 tokens that are made available to compound into your principal from your bonus. Day 4, you might have 3 tokens that are made, and up like that, every day having a percentage of your bonus made available for you to compound into your principal. So by the time you have finished your stake, you have earned compound interest on that bonus throughout the whole life of your stake. And what this does is allows people to put the power in their own hands of how powerful they want the time stake to be. And it allows for, say, a 10% bonus for time locking for a week to result in exponentially higher token payout. So say you stake for say you time stake for 10 days and you time stake 100 tokens and you get a 10% bonus for doing this, right? That's 10 extra tokens that will be made available to you to compound into your principal over the life of the stake. So if you are compounding that daily and earning a 3% ROI on that bonus throughout the whole life of your stake while you're compounding it, that 10 token bonus ends up being a 70% bonus and a 70 token payout. So it ends up being for a 100 token stake for time locking it for a week, you end up with, say, 700 more tokens or 70 more tokens or whatever it is. My point is the bonus is extremely high if you're compounding it daily, because the bonus is applied to your interest, allowing you to then compound it into your principal and earn a 3% daily ROI on that bonus every day as it's applied to your principal, and then take the interest that you're earning, which was then compounded, and then recompound it with the next day's bonus. So every day, a percentage of your bonus is made available for you to compound, and you can compound your interest once a day. The reason why we're limiting it once a day is to prevent confusion. I just know it will be an easier user experience and a more friendly user experience if we limit compounding to once a day, because you will only be able to compound your bonus once a day. And I don't want there to be a confusion where people are compounding and not sure, am I compounding my bonus? Am I compounding just my principal? Can I compound my bonus but not compound my interest? I don't want to add confusion there. So to make it simple, your bonus is added to your available divs once a day. And when it is, it's then available for you to compound into your principal. Now you're earning up to 3% interest on what you've just compounded, plus your principal, plus the bonus that was added that day. Now, throughout the whole course of the next day, you're earning interest on that new principal. And then when it comes time the next day for your bonus to be added in, you then get your bonus for that day based on how long you time stake added to your available divs. And now you're able to compound it, and now compound that bonus plus your interest into your principal. And now for the whole next day, now you're earning 3% interest on it. And it allows you to see a massive exponential or a massive exponential growth potential for your bonus, because you can compound it every day and earn interest on it every day. And the way that we'll display the bonus on the front end is it'll be labeled estimated compound bonus percentage. The reason why we're labeling it that is because it will be based on the bonus that you get for time locking, earning 3% interest a day, compounded once per day. And then that will give you a value that this value in the form of a percentage that shows you how large your bonus will be if you take optimal advantage of it. So it's going to not only be extremely attractive and extremely powerful, it's going to appear very attractive for people as well. Because when they go to time stake, they're going to choose how long do I want to time stake for? 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 5 years. And when they do it, it's going to give them an estimated compound bonus percentage that is based on if they time lock for this period of time and compound that bonus once daily. So it's going to clearly display the true power of the system, which is undeniably attractive to anybody that's going to be checking out the system and involved in the system. So because of this, I expect the vast majority of users to be time staking. Now, the way that it works is, to get a little more into detail, and when the contracts are made available, they will be these pieces of the contract will be added to the white paper, meaning these mechanics that I'm explaining. We will take the piece of code that handles that mechanic in the system, add it to the white paper, and then explain how it works in the white paper. This way, it's all broken down into great detail. But I'm hesitant to just throw all of this information at once, which is the reason why we did a kind of pitch deck type of white paper for the first version, because I didn't want people to get lost in the sauce and be overwhelmed with detail and not get the basic understanding of how the contract works and how it can benefit them. But as we create new versions of the white paper, it will continue to evolve with more information. But of course, the contracts will be made available, shortly after launch. So we'll launch them, we'll verify them, we'll make them public. But the way that to get into a little more detail about how the time bonus multiplier works is, when you initially buy, you deposit into the contract, it buys truffles for you. These truffles are then fed to pigs, which allow you to earn your pigs, right? And or essentially, another way of saying it is, these truffles are immediately compounded when you deposit. So now you have pigs, right? Because when you compound truffles, you're spending those truffles for pigs. And if you time lock, it's putting a bonus on it. So say you time lock for 10 days, you get a 10% bonus for time locking for 10 days. What it does is, when you do the initial deposit, it will buy however much you deposited worth of truffles plus 10% extra truffles. Those 10% extra truffles are now added to your available divs every day, allowing you to compound them back into your principal and earn compound interest on them throughout the life of the contract. The reason why we're buying them as soon as you create the stake and putting them on the side, essentially, to be added to your to allow you to add them to your principal through daily compounding is so they're immediately taken into account in the exchange rate of the truffles, right? Because the price of truffles is what determines what you will get when you cash out. So we need to add in this exchange rate, or we need to account for these extra truffles which are being given to you for the bonus right from the start. This way the exchange rate is accurate for everybody, and there isn't, floating truffles out there that haven't been accounted in the exchange rate. So because of all of these different math I don't want to call them problems, but these different mechanics that we needed to come up with solutions for, this hasn't been done before, right? There's never been a protocol that allows you to time lock a stake in a system and have the stake be made available for you to compound, and the bonus that you get for time locking being made available for you to compound over the life of your stake. There's never been a project like that before. There's also never been a project that pays you out a bonus on a stake for time locking that doesn't create this bonus through inflation, right? If you look at other protocols, like, I don't want to start naming them out, but there's plenty of other protocols out there where you can time lock a stake for a period of time and you get a bonus for doing that. They're exponentially, and when I say the word exponentially, I mean it literally, they're exponentially less powerful than our protocol, because the way that they implement this bonus is by minting those tokens and just tacking them on at the end. So for example, say you're in a project where you get a 40% bonus if you time lock your stake for a year. And these other protocols, while this stake is time locked, you can't compound any divs earned on it. You can't deposit into it. And this bonus is just added at the end. So you time lock for a year, you may get a 40% or 20% bonus for time locking for the whole year. And that's just 20% or 40% of your principal, of your starting principal. That is not attractive to me. And that's why these other projects that have this kind of systems implemented are not that attractive to people, because if you have to time lock for a whole year and you're only making a 40% on your initial starting principal to lock it up for a whole year in DeFi, I mean, you could almost get returns like that staking in like the S&P 500 if you compound it, right? So the risk reward ratio just isn't there for these protocols. And it's paying you the bonus through inflation, which means it's diluting the value of the token that you've been staked for a whole year just to give you a little 20, 40% of your starting principal. In our case, the bonus is not coming through inflation. The bonus is being created through a multiplier on your initial buying power when you enter the system. And then that bonus is put aside for you, and every day being added to your available divs. And when I say available divs, I mean divs that are available to compound, not to harvest, of course, because you can't harvest until your time lock is over. But you can compound it, which means that 10% bonus or that 20% or 40% bonus isn't just a 20% or 40% bonus of your principal that is, minted at the end of your stake and given to you, like Big Whoop. No, it's a percentage of your principal that is added to your available divs to compound every day, allowing you to compound it and earn interest on it throughout the whole life of your stake, which is so much more powerful. And now, because we're doing it that way, that means that you can't deposit into an existing stake, right? So the way that we're handling that is by something that's way more optimal than being able to deposit into existing stakes anyways. And that is through allowing you to create multiple stakes from the same wallet. And this is extremely bullish because it allows you to set up strategies for different unlock periods and different management systems that will allow us to create all kinds of cool analytic tools, right? People will be able to create analytic tools to see when groupings of different people's end stakes are coming. Like all the analytic tools that you know and love from some other projects, but being implemented in so much more of a powerful way, in a truly innovative way, in a way that's never been done before. So when you have an existing stake, you can compound the divs that you're earning on it and the bonus that you're earning on it for time locking. You can't deposit into it because that wouldn't really make any sense, because you would have to either reset the time lock, and we don't want it so every time someone compounds or every time someone deposits has to reset their time lock. Like that wouldn't be good. So 1 second.
So, guys, try to gear up some questions, guys. If you got questions for Forex, make sure you guys try to gear up some questions. You could at me in the animal chat, or you could add me in the on YouTube, etc., to ask some questions. If you guys have any questions to ask, I know he's gonna open up for Q&A. That'll be bullish.
Yeah. Sorry, I got family over and my dog's going crazy because my family's over and stuff. But yeah, so in order to not have to reset people's stake every time they do a deposit or a compound, we handled it so when you compound, of course, you don't have to create a new stake, or you don't have to reset your time lock either. And if you want to deposit, you could just deposit by starting a new stake. And this creates so many different options to allow people to set up strategies for different time lock periods. You know, say you want to go on a vacation at some point, you know, you have a planned vacation at some point, you could end a stake, you know, the week of that vacation, so you know you have those funds available for that vacation. There's all kinds of cool things you can do to diversify your stake structured profile in the system. And it's you know, basically every mechanic that we have implemented in the piggy bank is based on mechanics that we know work very well, but done in an innovative way that has never been done before. So I believe that if we launch the piggy bank as a standalone project with its own token, for example, we just create a token, which we're not interested in doing, but we create a token, and then that token can be utilized in the piggy bank, and we launch it as a unique individual project, I know it would be extremely popular, and it would blow up. It would be a huge project. But the fact that we're integrating it into the animal farm, into an existing system that has multiple positive feedback loops, it's that much more powerful. So, for example, the bonus that you earn for referring is dependent on the amount of dogs that you have staked in the animal farm single staking asset pool. And this is very similar to the protocol we used with Drip and BREAP. And you saw what happened there, right? BREAP had a major pump, right? Doing very well. And then had a correction, right? Which is normal. You know, whenever you have a major hype pump, it's typically followed by some kind of correction. And then we were flat for a little while until we implemented it into the referral structure of Drip. And from literally the day we implemented it into the referral structure of Drip, we never touched those lows again. And in fact, we ended up doing like 400x or something crazy, right? We went from like $2 to whatever, $300 or whatever it is. So it just blew up like crazy because we gave additional use case and an additional reward structure, incentivizing people to buy the token and remove it from circulation. And it's hitting both sides of the pricing formula, right? It's adding additional demand and use cases for the asset while it's incentivizing people from removing it from circulation, essentially restricting the supply. And when you restrict the supply of an asset while creating additional demand for it, that's how you create price appreciation. And we're using that same model that has proven to be so successful in Drip with BREAP. It's so successful even that when Drip has corrections, oftentimes BREAP doesn't even have the corrections. It just keeps pumping. The reason for this is because Drip is paying out the daily ROI, and people want to base some speculation around that. But they know at the end of the day, they always want to be making their referral bonuses. So sometimes when they might decide, oh, I want to take a little profit off the top of my Drip, they don't want to sell their BREAP because that means they're going to be missing referral bonuses. And they know they don't want to do that. So for that very reason, we'll see less volatility in dogs, more incentive to buy dogs, and more dogs being removed from circulation, and very little incentive to sell dogs because there's no situation where people are going to be okay with selling their dogs to just, negate and decide to pass on essentially free money that they otherwise would be getting for having their dog stake and earning referral bonuses. So we used a Fibonacci sequence to determine the amount of dogs you need to hold. The reason for doing this is because I like the way that it compounds, and because we use the same sequence in BREAP and Drip, which worked, and it's still working extremely well. So the way that that lines up is you need to have 2 dogs staked to earn a 1% bonus, 1% referral bonus on the deposit of people that you refer. Now, with this 2 dogs staked, you can earn a 1% bonus on essentially an infinite amount of people that you're referring. It's based on what they deposit. So it's not an exploitable system. It's not based on what you deposit, which would incentivize people to self-refer in a bunch of tiny stakes to, boost up a percentage earning on their own principal. It's not like that. It's based on what they deposit. So it's not it's not exploitable or able to be leached through self-referring. And if you have 2 dogs staked in the single asset pool, you can earn a 1% bonus on essentially an infinite amount of referrals. Now, if you have 3 dogs staked, you can earn a 2% bonus on referrals. If you have 5 dogs staked, you can earn a 3% bonus. If you have 8 dogs staked, you can earn a 4% bonus. And if you have 13 dogs staked, you can earn a 5% bonus. And this is where it caps out. Because obviously we cannot, there has to be some structure to it, right? You have to have some limitation to it. So the reason why we decided to use those values is because it allows for the average user to be able to get a referral bonus and to be able to benefit from referrals. Now, right now, to buy and stake 2 dogs, it's going to cost you about $125. That is a extremely viable option for the vast majority of users in the system, right? So we know the average user in the system can benefit from referrals, and that's important because we want to have as many people able to do referrals as possible because that's how you grow. Now, some people have asked, well, do you think it should be higher? Because they feel the higher it is, the more dogs is going to pump. And the reality of that is there is a limit to that working. Essentially, there's a roof there, because you make it too high, then it becomes infeasible for the average user to take advantage of it, and you have exponentially less people doing it, and that will create less of an impact on the price of dogs. So you want to have it within a range that the average user can do it, but have the high end of it just outside of what the average user can do. This way, they have a goal to work towards, and they can take some of that profit that they're earning in the system and compound it back into dogs to grow their dog's stake position to reach those higher referral percentage levels. And now, as the price of dogs appreciates, the cost to get percentage bonuses will get higher, and it will continue to rise as long as it remains attractive for people to pay whatever rate the dog's price is to get bonuses. And that's proven to be extremely high and still growing in BREAP. We still don't know what the top is in BREAP. We have some limited ability to adjust it, meaning if the price of dogs gets too high, so the average user can no longer afford to even do the base level of having 2 dogs staked to earn a 1% bonus, we can adjust it down to ensure that it costs, no more than a few $100s to be able to at least be a minimal participant in the system and get 1% bonuses for referrals. So this is an extreme incentive. It adds extreme incentive to both buy and stake dogs, removing them from circulation. And remember, just like with BREAP, when you stake BREAP, when you hold BREAP to unlock referrals and drip, you're able to earn BREAP through the reflective bonuses. With dogs, when you stake dogs in a single asset pool, you're earning pigs. So it's not like you're just having those dogs in the contract and earning the bonuses. You're also earning pigs off those dogs that are staked. And now you can compound those pigs into the pig pen and into the piggy bank to grow your share holdings of the system and compound your ownership of the protocol. Now, as this creates a price appreciation in dogs and price appreciation in pigs token, because it's going to be a major incentive for people to both buy pigs, hold their pigs, and add liquidity to pigs. Of course, having a huge decentralized liquidity pool for pigs hardens the price and allows for price appreciation and allows for some whales to get in, because now they don't have to worry about, just moving the price against them too much, right? When you have a deep liquidity pool, that's when institutions and whales can really get involved. And we see that some of them are already starting to get involved. We just had a major Chinese exchange pick up dog and pigs today that I'm sure is based on the projection that they see dogs and pigs going to, and also the development that we have coming down the road that they see. They're willing to invest their reputation and essentially put their name on the line to list the dog and pig tokens. That should say a lot, right? When a major exchange is willing to add your tokens to their exchange and have your tokens plastered all over their website, all over their front page of their website, that's showing you that this multi-billion-dollar corporation that has a board, that has a CEO and a CCO and CTO, and they're a reputation to uphold and investors to protect. and a level of accountability, being a registered corporation, and the ability to lose their exchange license, all that. When you see those kinds of corporations, putting their stamp on your project, that means something, right? And typically, I'm not one that is big on centralized exchanges, and I never go chasing centralized exchanges. But the reason why I agreed to a Hotbit listing is because Hotbit is very popular in Asia, specifically in China. And if you look at our user base, we are like almost 80% of our user base in the US, and the vast majority of the rest of the user base in Europe. So we've been working hard in outreach to Asia. We just had the piggy bank white paper translated to Mandarin and Cantonese. And we're really pushing on this. But of course, being Western people and having my whole team essentially made up of people that are from Western cultures, there's some barriers there to knowing how to market to the East, how to market to China, what platforms we should be operating with and dealing with. And we've made some good headway there, and you can see that by our analytics. But being listed on one of the major exchanges that is very popular, one of the most popular exchanges in China, really helps us break through, because we get to ride off the back of their promotion structure. And they're clearly already doing a great job marketing to Asia, specifically China. So this really, allows us to ride their wave in a sense, from a marketing promotional standpoint and exposure to the Asian market. And this is why I agreed to having our listing on Hotbit. Now, Hotbit, they went and bought some tokens right off the market. We didn't even give them any tokens, right? They were willing to do it, and they were willing to fund it off the back of their own capital and their own reputation. Now, of course, they have market maker fees and all that as well, so they kind of got the ball rolling with their own capital, and then are incentivizing other people to add. But understand that if they see a significant amount of back and forth volume taking place in the dog and pig token, they will buy institutional volumes of dog and pig tokens to ensure that they are the majority market maker. So they're collecting as much of the fees as possible there, right? So when you start to see these kind of players come in, that's extremely bullish, right? That's a great sign. And like I said, I'm not someone that chases centralized exchange listings, but when we have one that is getting massive exposure to a market that we're seeing very little exposure in, it's worth doing. And I believe, since we have such a large TVL relative to other farms out there, given our age, right? We're only a few weeks old, and the growth at which we're accumulating TVL, and with everything we have coming up, and the fact that we're on BSC, I believe it's inevitable and only a matter of time before we get a Binance listing as well for dog and pig tokens. And that's one that I am interested on, because again, it's a trade-off between exposure and decentralization. So I want it to be as decentralized as possible, having as much of the trading as possible being done on decentralized exchanges. But if if an exchange like Binance reaches out and wants to do a listing, you got to take advantage of it, because that gives us exposure to potentially millions of new investors. And these are the kind of opportunities that we have on the horizon, and we really kind of checked this box for the first time in any of my projects at having a major listing. And this is something that we needed to kind of do before something like a platform like a Binance would consider us, right? They would want to see that we are being implemented successfully on other exchanges. But because we're on BSC, because of the size of our TVL, because it's only a matter of time before we have billions in TVL, and all of this taking place with Binance tokens, I believe it's inevitable and only a matter of time before we get that listing on Binance as well. So we will be reaching out as well. I haven't reached out to any centralized exchanges. I responded to Hotbit when they responded to me. But Binance is one that I am reaching out to, right? Because I do believe it's only a matter of time before we get that listing. So now, BarterTown, do you have questions? And feel free to grab questions from the chat, or if you have questions, we can start going over them.
All right, for sure. I have some here, some good ones. I got a really good one. All right. Mm-hmm. When we started the drip garden, we initially had a period. I'm not sure exactly how it went down, but is there going to be an advantage for early stakers initially once the piggy bank goes live? So are we going to be able to get a better multiplier being in on the first day versus the days afterwards?
All right, it was completely opposite. So
Okay.
the benefit for the drip garden, actually the multiplier was put on the later you stake. So the later you got into it and the higher the contract balance was, the larger the multiplier you got on your buying power. So it's actually the opposite. There was but the benefit for getting in early in the drip garden is the same benefit for getting in early on the piggy bank, and that is the ability to start earning compound interest in the system from day one, allowing you to outpace those who get in after you. So no matter what kind of bonus you put on, like for example, we have the time bonus drip garden where your buying power is increased the later after launch you get in, and the larger the contract balance is, the larger your buy power is increased to ensure that it becomes more attractive as it gets older for new capital to get on. No matter how much you do that, it's still going to be always a bigger advantage to being in early because compound interest is so powerful. And also, as the contract balance grows, remember this is an exchange. It's essentially a DEX exchange that's internal in the contract. And as the contract balance grows, the exchange rate for truffles increases, so it becomes more expensive to buy truffles. So by getting in early, you will get a lower truffle price, so you'll be able to get more truffles for your money. Plus, you'll be able to earn compound interest in the system, which is extremely powerful. And if you take advantage of that, you can really get a major head start in exponential growth. And really, once you get a major head start in exponential growth, there's very little you can do. There's very little someone can do to make up for that. Getting in later, essentially.
All right, I got a good one too. Another good one. When it comes to referrals, right? If somebody uses my link and they make a deposit, what exactly is going to happen with what kind? I'm going to get a stake as a referral, but what kind of duration is the stake going to be? And what happens for multiple deposits? Is it for the initial deposit? Is it for every deposit? And what happens when I have somebody who's using my link that maybe has 20 stakes? How does that organize?
Okay, so when you get a referral bonus, it's added to your principal immediately. So you refer somebody, they do a deposit that generates a referral bonus. That referral bonus is going to be immediately added to your principal. So that's the way it works. And the way it's added to your principal is on your initial stake, essentially. So when you do a deposit in the system, it starts your initial deposit, right? Time locked or not, is going to be stake 1. Now, if you do an additional deposit after this, if you're not time locked, if your initial stake is not time locked, it will add that deposit to your initial stake. If your initial stake is time locked, then if you go to deposit, it will start a new stake for you. Now, if you refer someone, that referral bonus will be added to your initial stake, and it gets added immediately to your principal, allowing you to earn compound interest on it, compound it, do everything. Now, when someone uses your referral link, there's 2 tables, right? And this is all going to be made available tomorrow. So like I said, tomorrow, what we're going to do is we're going to launch the contracts. We're going to launch the front end. We're going to get everything wired up. And then at 11 a.m. tomorrow, we're going to do all this tomorrow morning. And we're going to start a 48-hour countdown tomorrow at 11 a.m. And then in the 48-hour period, people can start generating their referral links and start making YouTube videos showing the dashboard, showing the front end, sharing their referral link, getting everybody prepared and set up. Because when the 48-hour countdown hits 0, we're going to unpause the contract, and that's when everybody will be able to make their initial deposits. So when someone uses your referral bonus, right, there's 2 tables. So there's the dashboard, which looks somewhat similar to the Drip Garden dashboard, except for there's some extra inputs there for time staking. Then under that dashboard, there's a table that has on the x-axis different variables like your balance, your how long it's time staked for, all these different the ROI you're making, all these different data points. And then on the y-axis, it's 0 through whatever, and it's all your stakes. Stake 0, stake 1, stake 2, stake 3, stake 4, like that. And it has all your stakes listed, right? And it makes it very easy to do different actions on different stakes. You just click the stake that you want, and now you can compound that stake. You can deposit into that stake if it's not time locked. You can harvest from that stake. So the table just has all your different stakes listed and different information about those stakes. Now, under that, there's a referral table. And on the referral table, it has the address of everybody who used your referral link, how much they deposited, and how much they time locked for. This way, it allows you to see exactly how much referral bonuses you've made and how much each person that used your referral deposited and how long they time locked it for, making it very easy to set up reward structures. So you can, say, for example, if you time lock a stake for over a year with a deposit over $1,000 and use my referral link, I'll airdrop you $100 stake. That's time locked for 6 months or time locked for 3 weeks or whatever reward structure you want to come up with that will reward people for using your referral link. And now you can easily look at the table to see everybody who uses your referral link and get a bunch of stats about them. A bunch of stacks about them. And now, if you choose to do airdrops, you can go to the airdrop dashboard where you put in their address, the amount of tokens you want to airdrop to them, and how long you want them time locked for, and then hit gift, and it will gift them a time lock stake for the amount of time that you want that stake to be time locked for, and the amount that you want to give them. And now that stake goes to their table. Now they can see that stake is in their table. They're earning on it. They can compound on it now. And when the time stake is over, they can harvest it, or they can decide to restake it. Whatever, it's up to them. Now, let me just talk about one more function that I didn't get to earlier. There's also an emergency end stake. So, with a time lock stake, when that time lock is over, you can continue to earn off that stake. So you can decide to time lock a stake. When the stake gets done with time locking, you will no longer be earning a bonus on it because you earned the bonus that was for the amount of time you time locked it for. But you can still continue to earn the 3% daily ROI, up to 3% daily ROI off that principal of the stake for the whole life of the contract until you hit max payout. Now, if you decide to emergency end stake, what this means is while you're time locked, if your built up dividends becomes equal to or greater than your locked principal, you can emergency end stake. And what it will do is it will give you half of those, it will give you half of your principal back. But it kills that stake. Meaning, even when the time lock is over, and for the rest of the time of the time lock, you can no longer earn off that stake. So this is truly something only to be used in cases of emergency if you really need that capital. But there's a penalty associated with it because we need to reward people who do remain in their stake for the agreed upon time that they said they would to earn their bonus. Now, 100% of this penalty for emergency end staking goes to existing stakers that have stayed for their full-time lock. So it's not like other protocols where, if someone emergency end stakes, the developer gets like 60% of their tokens now, and the developer gets 60% of all the tokens ever created, owns 90% of the liquidity, owns 85% of the supply. Like when you have protocols where the developer is essentially minting tokens at will and is getting some huge share of the tokens, inevitably it becomes extremely centralized and one entity ends up owning basically the whole supply. In this protocol, it's the opposite. There's if someone emergency end stakes, that additional capital that they would have gotten stays in the contract, allowing all the people that don't emergency end stake, that stay in for their agreed upon lock time, now they get that because since it's not going to the person that emergency end stake, that means the value of seats is that much higher. And that's a benefit to everyone else that's existing in the system. So, this is another innovation, right? We're the only protocol to allow for something like this. And that's because we're the way that we're implementing the bonus and not just doing it through inflation at the end like the other protocols do.
Forex, I got a big question. Big question. The whole community wants to know this question too, right? Okay, so we're gonna start the piggy bank. It's gonna be massive liquidity going into pigs, and it's gonna be super bullish. Everybody's gonna have a great time. It's gonna be the biggest thing ever, and we kill all the competition out there. But what about the pig pen? When what kind of, let's say, roadmap do we have for the pig pen as far as proposals, as far as You know,
Okay.
the kind of that structure of things in the pig pen, like what kind of time frame and what are we going to look forward to for the pig pen? Cool.
All right. Well, people, let me just look at the front end real quick so I can just update myself with the values. Okay. The Pigpen has already paid out over 4 million BUSD in rewards, right? The Pigpen is paying out. And what allows the Pigpen to pay out are people using the platform and the success of the dog and pig tokens. So, as we implement the piggy bank, it increases the value of dog and pigs, further incentivizing more users to come on to the animal farm, which increases the amount of BUSD being generated in the pig pen and makes it so there's more BUSD to be paid out in the pig pen. It also creates another option for people to stake and earn on their pigs. And what this does is um, it's going to diversify the I don't want to call it centralization, but the accumulation of pig tokens in the pig pen. If there's another option, that means a fair amount of those people that are in the pig pen now will end up migrating over to the piggy bank, which means those who are in the pig pen will see that much higher of a reward because they now own a greater share of the pig pen. So the piggy bank increases the health of the whole system and gives another option for pig stakers, which will reduce the amount of pigs that are in the pig pen, allowing for the pigs that are in the pig pen to see a greater share of the bonus. Now, on top of that, we have an adjusted tax rate in the dogs token. And the dogs token can have up to a 6% tax on buying and up to a 9% tax on selling. Currently, we don't have any tax associated with buying and only on selling and some other transactions. Once these tokens start to really, snowball and we're moving, full steam ahead, we can adjust the tax rate of the dog token to allow for more BUSD to be generated from the transactions of the dog token, and the BUSD that's being generated from the transactions of the dog token get sent to the pig pen. So we can create another cash flow of BUSD going to the pig pen that isn't being generated now, and we can increase the other cash flows that are being generated that will be going to the pig pen, right? And another cash flow that we haven't started implementing yet is the rehypothecation, right? So we're earning millions of dollars right now through the collateral rehypothecation that we're earning 30 to 40% yield on through PancakeSwap on the back end. This is generating a large amount of cake, which we have not tapped into any of it yet, right? So the reason why we haven't tapped into any of it yet is because we haven't fully applied all of the BUSD from the L1 to L2 migration, right? We still have a significant amount of capital from that. But since we're going to have a large liquidity pool for both dog and pigs, we're not only going to use the cash flow being generated through the rehypothecation for buybacks, we're also going to use it for pig pen injections. So that's another cash flow of millions of dollars that we've already generated and many millions to be generated in the future that will be used for pig pen injections. So there are multiple mechanics that we have that are being utilized, and some are not being utilized, and some are not being utilized to their full potential to generate BUSD dividends to go into the vault. But the project is only something like a month old or something, and it's already paid out over $1 million in BUSD rewards. And these rewards that it's paying out are increasing on a daily basis. So the Pigpen is working as designed. It's not meant to be a a kind of pump and dump scheme type of deal. It's meant to be time weighted rewards where the amount of BUSD that you're generating from being in the Pigpen is increased on a daily basis, and we have the cash flows to do that. My motivations were not to dump all this capital in at launch, so the weak hands and the people that were only in it for the hype at the start to then make all kinds of crazy cash and then leave the system. Right? We're going to consistently and responsibly add that capital to both the Pigpen and to the dog and pig liquidity pool in the form of buybacks, and we have multiple cash flows and millions of dollars to do that. And this isn't like limited funds, right? We're generating millions of dollars constantly, and it's just about putting that capital to work, which we've been doing a little at a time, and we're going to continue to do. And we're only going to increase it as time goes on, because the longer time goes, the more weak hands and the more people that are just in it for the hype will have left the system, and the people that are in the Pigpen are the people that are in it because they understand the protocol and they're in it for the long run. Now, I would say if you want a shorter term time frame investment, then definitely diversify, right? Maybe go 50-50, 50 in the Pigpen, 50 in the piggy bank. Maybe do 75% in the piggy bank, 25% in the Pigpen. It's all about how you want to allocate your funds and what kind of time perspective you have on it. But we have multiple different cash flows and mechanisms to increase the Pigpen, and the Pigpen is working very well. I mean, as you can see, it's paid out over $4 million already, and we're only like a month old. So that's basically the answer to that. We have I should also say that, unrelated to the Pigpen, because this just popped up in my mind because I was thinking about other cash flows and how they can be utilized. The piggy bank, right, has a fee associated with deposits and withdrawing, right? This fee is equal to the max referral bonus that you can get, and this ensures that it's not beneficial to self-refer, right? Because you'll end up paying more in fees than you get from the referral bonus. So it's not it disincentivizes self-referring, and 100% of the pigs that is being generated from this fee will be used in a protocol to reward the participants of the system. What I mean by that is that fee on deposits and withdrawals, those pigs that are being collected from that fee, 0% of them are going into the devs' pockets, right? We're not collecting any dev fees in the tokens, right? What we're going to do is utilize those pigs in a reward structure, and what we're looking at doing right now is a lottery. So a lottery where you can buy tickets for the lottery, both with drip tokens and dog tokens. These drip tokens and dog tokens that people use to buy the tickets are sent to a burn address, so they're removed from circulation, giving new utility, new game theory, a new game for people to play with their dogs and with their pigs. And every ticket that you buy gives you a chance to win the the pigs that have accumulated from the deposit and withdrawal fees associated with the piggy bank. So it's a lottery that pays out pigs, but these pigs are not coming from inflation, so that's awesome, right? We're not diluting the supply to play out these pig tokens, and we're further incentivizing people to remove drip tokens and remove dog tokens from circulation to earn these pigs. So and of course people are always happy when they see that funds are not going to developers, right? And I am too, because I never like to take any kind of dev fee in the tokens because I don't end up spending them anyways. I've never once sold one of my own native tokens, and I never will. So there's no point in me ever taking a dev fee in the tokens anyways. So so our plan is to set up a lottery structure. Now we have a partnership that we're in the works with Chainlink for Drip, and this is going to start off with using their price feeds on our site.
Ooh,
and this,
bullish.
yeah, this is to open the door and to start establish a working relationship with them. So we would just want to get some low hanging fruit, right? It's easy for us to utilize their price feeds, and for doing that, we're going to do a co-promotion. So they're going to be promoting us both on their social media and on their Chainlink website, saying like we have a new partnership with Drip, et cetera, right? So that's massively bullish for Drip, but we need to be able to do randomness for our lottery, and the best project to partner with to do randomness on chain is Chainlink. So that is that's what we're gonna do with Chainlink, right? We're gonna parlay this partnership.
I think it would be bullish. Forex, I think it would be bullish for everybody to know that you can only achieve true randomness in a lotto when you have this sort of what you call it again, Forex? Chainlink is a Oracle. You can only achieve true randomness with this type of a partnership in Oracle. If somebody has a lottery system out there and doesn't have a proper Oracle set up in place, it could be exploited, right or wrong, Forex. I learned that from you.
Yeah. There's a lot of lotteries out there that are doing fully on-chain lottery protocols that aren't utilizing some kind of Oracle, and almost every time you'll notice that their contracts aren't verified. The reason why their contracts aren't verified is because if they had their contracts verified, it would make it easier for people that want to reverse engineer their system to determine what takes into account to determine who's the winner. And then those developers can set up a type of sandbox where they can recreate the current state of the blockchain and try to determine what they need to do to be the winner every day, and essentially create a bot that will check to see if I do this, this, and this, will I be the winner? If so, buy the ticket. If not, don't buy the ticket. And that can be used to essentially rig a lottery if they're fully on chain and if they're not utilizing an Oracle. And there's a lot of lotteries out there utilizing these kind of systems, and I'd have to imagine a lot of them are being exploited. But we're gonna go we're gonna do it the right way. We're gonna go, full on Chainlink partnership, because I believe they're the best people to partnership for randomness. And we'll have a legit, true randomness in our lottery, so everybody can rest assured that when you buy your ticket, you're getting a fair shot at it, same as everybody else in the system.
Forex, do we have a name for the lottery yet? Are we gonna have maybe a top 5 names to choose from, or a proposal, maybe a top 5 proposal or something like that to pick the name?
Well, people that have been in the chat know that the piggy bank, that wasn't I didn't come up with that name. Someone from the community came up with that name. I asked people to essentially propose names and give their suggestions. Someone suggested the piggy bank, and I think it's a perfect name for it. So for sure, yeah. And speaking of proposals, right, we have our governance proposal with the pig pen, and people can rest assured that we will be utilizing that very soon. So our roadmap is launching the piggy bank, then putting our full focus in marketing the animal farm, right? Do both paid marketing and interviews and AMAs and essentially any kind of targeted marketing we can have access to, and setting up the next major partnership for Drip, right? And this is as soon as I'm talking the day after we launched Piggy Bank, we're going right into that. Then, once we already know what we're going to be doing next for our Drip partnership, but what's next after that? After the Drip partnership is the partnership vaults for the animal farm, and how will we do? Because we have dozens of projects that have filled up the form for partnerships, meaning they're willing to give a percentage of their total supply to have a vault on the animal farm to allow people to stake their token with dogs or with pigs to earn their native token. So they're going to give a share of their native supply to be used as rewards in our vaults. Dozens of projects have already applied for this, and we're going to allow the governance holders in the pig pen to vote on which projects we move forward with the partnership. So we're going to have a preliminary screening to ensure that we audit all the code, we make sure they're all legit, they have good logic and good game theory behind them, they make sense, there'll be demand for them. And then once we have a good, very strong candidates, we're going to put it up to vote in the pig pen and allow those that have their share ownership of the platform determine who we move forward with. And that's going to be a great opportunity to utilize the governance protocol and allow for the true owners of the protocol, which are those who have their pigs staked in the pig pen, to determine the future of the platform.
Forex, I got some. Hold on. I got some. Okay, wait. Is there going to be a limit on how many stakes one wallet can do? Like, how is that going to be set up?
No.
And then also, is there going to be a tax on stake airdrops from the piggy bank?
No, there's no tax on sending airdrops, and there's no limit to the amount of stakes that you can create. So no to both of those.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then this is more rapid fire. Do we need dogs in single stake pool for the referral reward, or does the farming BUSD dog LP count as well?
No, it's specifically the dog single asset staking pool. So you need to be in there, and that's because we need to be able to check specifically the amount of dogs you have. And if you're holding LP tokens, the amount of dogs that are associated with your LP tokens is going to vary depending on the price of dogs. So that's not a efficient way to implement that. Having it associated with the single asset staking pool of dogs allows us to check how many dogs specifically are in the single asset staking pool and determine your bonus based on that.
Cool. And my last question is just a reconfirmation. So this guy said, can we just reconfirm when will we be able to add our first stake, and when will a mission start? I.e., can we start staking tomorrow and a mission start after the 48-hour counter? Like, just a little bit of clarity on when everything is going down.
Yeah. So tomorrow morning, we're gonna launch the website. We're gonna launch the contracts. We're gonna make it available to you to start creating your referral bonuses and be able to start reviewing and interacting with the front end. But the contracts will be paused. We're gonna unpause them when the 48-hour countdown ends. So we're gonna start the 48-hour countdown tomorrow at 11 EST, 11 a.m. EST. And when that 48-hour countdown hits 0, the contracts will be unpaused and everybody can start depositing. But this is the contracts and the website and everything is launching tomorrow. It's just going to be paused. So everybody has 48 hours to essentially promote the website, promote the referral links, get the info out there. Like the YouTubers and the group owners can, make everybody aware of it. And we want to. It's always best to have at least a 48-hour countdown, and we want to make the front end and the contracts available in this 48-hour countdown. So it's not just like the website and the contracts and everything goes up like minutes before we launch, right? We want people to be able to get familiar with them, promote them, share their referral link. So we're launching everything tomorrow, but it will be paused for 48 hours. At the end of the 48 hours, we unpause. This is going to be Thursday at 11 a.m. EST. And when we unpause, that's when you can make your initial deposit. That's when you can start earning, right? Immediately. As soon as the first deposit goes in, people will be earning dividends. So, so that's the way that works. Now, everybody, like, so the bonus that you make for time locking is going to be made available to you before you time lock. So this is a very good tool for people because it allows you to see what kind of bonus you're going to get before you time lock it. This way you can determine if the bonus is sufficient for you before you time lock it. So there are essentially no protocols that allow you to check what your bonus will be compounded with interest earned on it by the time your end stake is over. And the reason for that is because we're the only protocol that actually allows you to compound your bonus and compound your interest. So this is a major innovation, and I know that it's going to be huge. Because it fills. We know that when we launched Drip Garden, Drip did over 2x and had about $30 million added to the liquidity pool essentially overnight. I expect this to do way more than that, right? I don't want to make price predictions or anything, but when we launched Drip Garden, we had about, I would say, 8,000 active users in the Drip Telegram group. We now have something like 120,000 Telegram users across all our groups combined. And we have, tens of thousands, like maybe 60,000, 70,000, see more than that, probably about 80,000 active users right now in our protocols. So we are, I don't even know, 40 times bigger or something than we were when we launched the Drip Garden. So, I expect this to, make the pump and the movement that we saw in the Drip Garden look like, child's play essentially. Because this is not only a more innovative protocol, but we just have that much larger community where our ecosystem is that much better, that much built up. We have that much more promoters on board. And this is another major innovative option that's part of a larger, very powerful ecosystem. So I'm extremely bullish and extremely excited, and I really just can't wait to implement this and make it available. So I have a meeting coming up in 18 minutes, but if you got a couple more questions, I can quickly get through a couple of them.
We could do the chat, bro. I'm out of questions. You want to get somebody from the Animal Farm chat?
Yeah, sure. If you see questions in there.
Let me see. Let me do. See, these are just quick ones. Okay, can you ask if referral bonus is just on the principal alone or on principal and also compounds from your referral? It's from the initial deposits, right?
Well, when someone makes when someone makes a deposit, it generates a referral bonus that gets added to your principal, right? If you referred them, and now since it's added to your principal, now you can start earning interest on it and compound that interest. So yeah, it increases your principal, allowing you to earn compound interest on it. But the bonus itself is generated from the deposit.
And somebody asks if there's a function to compound to combine stakes. We can't do that, right? Combining stakes.
No, for the same reason you can't deposit into an existing time lock stake. If you did that, then you would have to reset the time lock, and we don't want to have to be force resetting people's time locks every time they do anything. So it really doesn't make any sense to combine a stake, because if you have two separate stakes, both earning up to 3% interest that you can compound, right? They're going to earn at the same rate as they would if you combined them. There's no benefit to combining them.
What else we got here? Let's see. Somebody's asking about verifying contracts. What are they talking about? I don't know what they're talking about. As for us, affects price. Oh, I mean, they just want to know functionality here. As for us, what affects price of truffles? Is it pigs? And also, is it only the price of piglets that go down? So effectively, like plants price, which shouldn't be worried about.
All right. So the way it works is the price of truffles is relative to the contract balance. So as the contract balance grows, the price of truffles grows. Meaning, as the exchange rate for truffles goes up, the larger the exchange rate you have when you sell. So the larger the contract balance grows, the more capital you see for your truffles. Piglets represents your share of the platform. It doesn't. Piglets, like plants, are not sellable assets. So the price of piglets has no determination on what you'd be able to cash out of the system. It only determines the how much you'll be able to increase your share ownership of the platform when you either invest new capital or compound. And the price of these is always decreasing by a little bit, because it's always ensuring that it's attractive for people to compound their existing stakes to grow their share ownership of the contract, or to invest new capital. So really, if you have existing stakes, what you should be paying attention to is the contract balance, because the contract balance is going to determine your contract balance, which is essentially the price of truffles. The price of truffles determines how much capital you'll be able to get if you cash out. The price of piglets, just like the price of plants, has no way in your ability to cash out, right? That's just this is why we don't even provide a price for plants, and won't provide a price for piglets on the dashboard, because it's largely irrelevant. If you're compounding and if you're depositing into the system, you can ensure that you're always getting a great rate for it. But there's no situation where the price of plants or the price of piglets decreases, so now you can only take less profit from the system or something like that. It doesn't work like that. The piglets just act as a asset which represents your share ownership of the system. So if you are not compounding or doing deposits in the system, you'll be slowly losing your share ownership of the platform or of the contract, and this is why it's up to 3%. So if you are regularly compounding at a rate that's equal or greater than the average user in the system, then you maintain your share ownership or your share stake of the contract and remain at about 3% daily ROI. If you stop compounding and you only start leeching from the system, now your share ownership of the contract starts to decrease a little bit every day, and you start your daily ROI starts to go from 3% to 2.9%, 2.8% over time, right? So this is just this is how the game's theory is structured to ensure that those that are compounding and are being active in the system are rewarded. So for doing that, and people that are just leeching from the system cannot infinitely leech from the system and are not being rewarded for doing so. When it comes to you just trying to figure out how much you could cash out at any given time, that is just the price of truffles and the contract balance. And we make the price of truffles very clear on the dashboard. So you'll be able to see this is the price of truffles, this is how many truffles you have available, and how much truffles you're making on a daily basis, essentially. All that's in the dashboard.
Forex, could we nail the compounding feature in the butt and explain to people why it's kind of better not to have auto compounding features in a lot of the stuff that we got going on?
Yeah, so the only time auto compounding makes sense, in my opinion, is if you are earning some non-native token. For example, in Animal Farm, through the back end, we're earning cake. Now, if this wasn't done through the back end, if it was done through like a auto or a beefy type of system, let's say, where you're earning a tiny bit of some other token, for example, your staked ETH link, and you earn a little bit of link from your stake, it makes sense to auto compound that, because what it does is sells half those link that you're earning for ETH, adds it to the liquidity pool, and then compounds that into your stake. And this makes sense because you have some asset that you're not able to earn on unless you do all these other transactions to add it to your stake. In this case, right, when you compound, your time locked, your principal is time locked, and there's also, of course, a gas price associated with it as well. So everybody needs to determine their own strategy for compounding, how often you want to compound based on your confidence in the system and the price of gas, and how much of that principal you want to continue to lock up, essentially, because the principal's locked up and you're only earning divs. So it's too easy for someone who doesn't understand the system to do an auto compounding feature and have them stake with an auto compounding and then come around in a month and realize they have no available divs and be complaining, and why don't I have any available divs? And we would tell, because you were auto compounding. Well, I didn't want to auto compound. Or it's not a good option to have by default in these kinds of protocols. Now, people have created bots to auto compound, and I know there's a GitHub that allows people to auto compound their stake in Drip, for example. So there are options to be able to do this if you want to, but it's just these kinds of protocols, and then also, right, so if you have a system where you're earning some other non-native token, you could just constantly compound it into your stake, and that makes sense. But with these kinds of and you can do that constantly, right? Every time someone does a claim or a compound or whatever, you can constantly trigger it. With this kind of system, you need to determine, all right, say they want to auto compound. How often do they want to compound? Do they want to compound once a day, auto compound once a week? Now, if they do want to auto compound, what's going to trigger it, right? Because something needs to trigger an action, right? Systems, these are decentralized contracts. So it takes someone to call a function in order for something to happen. So we could have it so every time someone does a deposit or a withdrawal or a claim, it then looks at everybody who's available to compound and compounds them. This is going to be looping through every staker in the system. And if we get too many people that are in the system, right? This can break it, because if the loop gets too big, it will start to time out. The gas price or the gas limit will be too high. It will start to time out. It's just really it just really does not make sense from like both a technical perspective, like the way these contracts work, and it also doesn't make sense from a game theory perspective, because everybody needs to decide their own rate at which they want to compound, based on how much they have staked, what the gas prices are, what their profit taking versus compounding strategy is. And it's much better if everybody's acting as individuals in the system, and that's how you get a more representative market of what the sentiment of the market is, right? That's how you have a more organic price movement and price action and onboarding. So there's a bunch of reasons not to do it in the system, but some of them are just for the reasons I just said, but there's also technical reasons why you wouldn't want to do it. And, to the point where it could literally break the system if you have too many stakers involved. So it really just doesn't make sense to do it all in these kind of protocols.
I think we're all good, Forex. We got all the questions out pretty much.
All right, guys. So tomorrow I'll be in here, right? At 11 a.m. We're going to get the front end up, and we're going to deploy the contracts. That way everybody can start connecting their wallets and creating referral links. All of the YouTubers and all of the people out there promoting their groups and all that can start promoting, can start sharing their links. That way, when it unpauses at the end of the countdown, the 48-hour countdown, people can immediately start depositing and start earning their referral bonuses. We're going to make a more detailed white paper. This will be coming out within the next 48 hours. And, it's when people see the front end tomorrow, I know they're going to be impressed. I know they're going to be very excited about those bonuses, right? Because they're very large bonuses. The reason why they're very large bonuses is because you're earning compound interest on them. So it's extremely powerful, way more powerful than any other existing time lock system. We're the only ones not to do it through inflation. I expect it to have a price effect both on pigs, similar to what the Drip Garden did for Drip, which was more than 2x it basically overnight. And I expect it to have an effect on dogs similar to the effect that the Drip referral system had on BREIT, which was massive, right? Took the price from $2 to $250, with just constant growth every day. And I'm just very, very excited for this. As soon as we launch it, we go into the next phase, which is a full focus on marketing it and onboarding. And I just want to say thank you, everybody, for being here. I can't wait to present everything to you guys tomorrow, right? Launch the contracts, launch the front end, and start this countdown. Because I know when this countdown hits zero, we're going to have a wave of millions of dollars coming in. And this is capital that would otherwise be, selling pigs or, just doing regular, scalp trading and all kinds of negative actions. Instead, will be staking their pigs and adding liquidity to their pigs to earn a sustainable but a high yield ROI, right? Up to 3% ROI a day, plus a bonus that you can earn compound interest in, which is huge. And people that have been paying attention realize that the Drip Garden, which is like 5 months old now, right? We hit a higher contract balance every single month, month after month. And I believe that we can even outperform that with the piggy bank. Now, do I think that the piggy bank takes away from the Drip Garden? I don't, and here's why. You cannot stake Drip or Drip LP in the piggy bank. So there is still this utility in the drip garden for people who want to stake their drip LP. It's the only place you can earn up to 3% daily ROI on your drip LP. It also has completely different mechanics, right? Like the contract multiplier, the time multiplier, as opposed to time staking multiplier. And the drip garden allows you to earn drip LP tokens. Drip LP tokens allow you to earn pigs, and pigs can be added to BUSD liquidity and staked in the piggy bank. So they create a positive feedback loop for each other that support each other and strengthen each other. So I believe they're both unique investment opportunities with their own risks and their own rewards, servicing different assets, but they both heavily support each other. So I think that this is going to raise all ships. And I'm just very excited about it, guys. So I have a meeting. I got to go. I have my meeting at 6 p.m. And I want to make sure that we have everything ready to go early tomorrow. So just stay tuned, guys. We're going to start the countdown tomorrow at 11 a.m. EST. And as soon as it hits 0, we're opening up the contract. We're unpausing the contract for depositing. So thank you, guys. Thank you, BarterTown. Thanks to everybody for asking questions. And, you guys know I've been active in the chat, so I'm going to continue with that, answering questions. And, there's a lot of admins in here that I'm sure learned a bit more than they didn't already know, and they'll be able to answer questions for you in the chat as well. So thanks for being here, everybody. Thank you, BarterTown, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Peace, guys.